Hello and welcome to this video blog. I've been asked by Nicole to talk about the use of oracles to identify the twin flame. Oracles such as tarot, astrology, numerology, even the Akashic records, Chinese astrology, and all the tools that we can use, I Ching, to identify the twin flame. And there are a couple of things I would like to say about it. First of all, I would like to acknowledge that in this process, when we start this process and we are facing something so strange and mysterious, when we're facing something so out of this world, it's natural to want to find answers. And even I went to astrology. I did my Chinese astrology comparisons with him. I did the Western astrology to see, the nodes, the Pluto, and all the aspects that we can suggest a twin flame connection. I did the tarot. And well, so many other things that I was, asking because I just couldn't understand what was going on. It was so intense and so strange that it was difficult to pinpoint what was going on, even before I knew the term twin flame. And then, through the process, I realized that the only way to identify who this person was, who this soul was in my life, was to learn to look inside, or at least to start a path that I can trust my inner perception by clearing all the blockages, clearing all the beliefs and the conditioning that is making me look at things in one square way and not opening up to all possibilities. And after all, the twin flame journey is a journey of self recognition, of the connection to our soul dimension. And in the soul dimension, where union doesn't even exist because we are already one. So there's no union, is when you piece two pieces together and become one. In this case, at the soul level, we are already one, so we cannot even speak about union. In that level, that the twin flame connection is inviting us to discover, remember, or reconnect to, well, we don't need the oracles that are more related to a certain dimension of existence, more our physical material existence and our relationships that we can identify through karma, past lives, and things like that. The twin flame connection is so much deeper than this, that the only way to align our rational mind to the depth of this is going inside. And as I said, I used those tools. I was so anxious to try to understand what was going on that I used those tools until I realized that that was not the way. Maybe you gotta go through all these steps or all these different levels of awakening before you can really realize that it's not about looking outside or asking somebody else. I mean, there's so many people posting pictures with their supposed twin flame and saying, what do you feel? Do you think this is my twin flame? I mean, there's so much confusion. There's a huge disconnection from our inner perception. So in order for us to go inside, if we are truly in the twin flame journey, a great percentage of people have understood that this is about awakening oneself through the connection, because this being touches us so extremely deep, like nobody else, that is touching all the wounds of the darkness and the wounds of the light that we are repressing, and whatever is disconnecting us from our essential spiritual source. That is what this being, this soul, in the presence of our incarnated or not incarnated twin flame, is coming to move in us, so we can open our mind and let the spiritual essence start manifesting with more clarity, with more power. Because when we become aware of something, it becomes tenfold in power. And so in this time of change of era, of a new age, we need to let go of the old. And the only way out is going in, as Jung said, as so many spiritual teachers have said. The only way out of this mess, of this chaos, is by going in. We need to recognize how and discern the taste, the sensation, the flavors of our spiritual dimensions. And to say something about the goodness of those spiritual dimensions is that they will always fill us up like nothing else. We can look for love outside in somebody else. We can look for happiness in a relationship, or depending on something or someone else. It's never going to fill us internally as spiritual dimensions do. That's why, consciously or unconsciously, we are looking for that something. We are looking for that essence, or that something. Let's just put it something, because we don't need to label it, but we know that we are looking for that something that's gonna make us feel amazing and happy and with inner peace and free and all that thing. Well, that only comes from spiritual awakening. It doesn't come through having a relationship with someone and depending on that someone, because when that someone's not there, we're going to suffer. And I noticed that people are a little negative about suffering, but it's important that we recognize that suffering is not negative. Suffering is part of our cleansing process. Obviously, nobody wants to suffer, but when you come to this world, you see black and white as much as you see happiness and suffering. It is part of duality, and we cannot reject it. We might as well understand it and use it as a tool for our spiritual awakening. So, you can try and see if you find something, and you will find something, because we see what we want to see. And suddenly we're going to, we have trines in our suns, and we have our moons in conjunction, and whatever in astrology or whatever in tarot, we're going to see whatever major arcana cards that connects us deeply to this being. And still, even if we get information, and if it's true information coming from outside, until we come to those conclusions through our inner process, we're always going to still be in the illusion of not knowing whether it is or it is not. So my suggestion is be gentle with yourself in this process. You will be deceived many times by your own belief systems, that you will find that they are rotten old and that they don't serve any purpose. And so just be gentle with the process, observe yourself, contemplate and question everything. There will maybe, I don't know if we will arrive to a place that there's no more questioning. Maybe yes, maybe not. But now where the majority are, we need to question everything, because unless we question, we are not going to find the answers. We're not going to even doubt that what we perceive is coming from our spiritual essence. Don't believe that when you close your eyes, suddenly you perceive everything that it's the spiritual dimensions, because we have to go through many layers. Many layers. Even if we are in our hearts, oh, I'm connected to my heart, oh, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. There are many layers to the heart, many layers to the mind, before we can actually tap into the spiritual communication. The communication with our spiritual essence comes through the abstract mind, and it's very subtle. So just be in the now, learn to observe your feelings, observe your thoughts. Just don't believe that you are what you're thinking or you're feeling, because that's coming from conditioning, that's coming from learning. And as much as you teach your dogs, I'm going to show you my baby now, you teach your dogs to, oh, this is Lila, and I'm teaching her to stay or to sit or to poop outside. It takes a while of training, and then when the training is done, she will be trained to do this or to do that when I use certain words. It happens to us as well. We've been trained since very early on to believe things, to feel things, because we learn through energy. And however it is transmitted, we associate things and then we learn. And it's all learning. So learning creates a facade. Learning creates a personality, which is a mask. And it's totally okay. We just need to realize that this is the mask, and that we need to understand the role play, or how to play the role within this mask. Be aware of our ego and use our awareness tools to acknowledge how the ego works, and let it smooth out, cool down. So tame it. We tame. As I tame my baby dog, we need to tame the ego, so the expression of the soul becomes powerful in the channel of consciousness and manifestation. Okay, so I hope this is a helpful contemplation, a helpful idea that can maybe guide your antennas, your how do you say antennas? Well, you know what I mean, the energy antennas that connect you to one side of the consciousness or the other. And I hope that they can take you to the place connected to a purer source of wisdom and information. Thank you for listening. This is a bilingual channel, and please share the video, because obviously my English-speaking followers are much lesser than the Spanish ones, and if you believe that this is a helpful video, I hope you can share it with other people. Thank you so much, and follow us on our social media, subscribe to this channel, and until we meet again in our next English video. Bye bye.